Happy midweek to the Most High Yahuwah and our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Ruach HaKodesh, and the family of Hebrews. I'm Brother Judah Israel, and I have another very important, interesting message that I want to share with the listening ears of Yah's people, and it is entitled, Israel, from 3/5 of a human back to royalty. And back to royalty is not just a cliche or just to fill in some space. Yes, we were once upon a time royalty when the Most High led our people out of the nation of Egypt with Moses. When they got in the land, they were what was happening. They were royalty. And during the time of the reign of our ancestor King David, and his son Solomon, our people were royalty, living in royalty. So this message, like I said, will be entitled Israel, from 3/5 of a human back to royalty. So praise Yah for another opportunity to glorify our Father and edify the listeners of Yah's word. Okay, I don't want to delay this any longer. I'll be starting out by saying, family, as always, please keep Yah's 10 Commandments found in the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. And our Messiah says in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. And there's another scripture says in the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 4 says, our Messiah says, he that says he know me and keeping not my commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So please, family, let's keep our Messiah's and our Father's 10 commandments. Okay, now there's another scripture in Genesis chapter 35, verses 23 to 26 can be found. The names of the 12 sons of Jacob, who are the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. And their names are Reuben, firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Dan, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Please remember those names. So I'll start reading out of the Apocrypha in the book of Judith. The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 17. And if your ancestors were taken from Africa in the sub-Saharan slave trade, some call it the Arab slave trade, others call it the Islamic slave trade. Same slave trade though. If your ancestors were taken from Negro land in the transatlantic slave trade, if your ancestors were a part of the people who were taken in the Pacific slave trade, and yet still some of our people were born native of this country. So all these scriptures apply to you if you are the offspring of any of those ancestors of ours who were taken and kidnapped, raped, robbed, and murdered from any of those slave trades. As I said, the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 17 and 18. It says, and whilst they sinned not before their Elohim, they prospered, because the Elohim that hate iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he had appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captive into lands that was not theirs, and the temple of their Elohim was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. This is what happened to all of our ancestors. And in this last captivity, which we are, the offspring, are still in right now, whether your ancestors were from the transatlantic slave trade, or the Pacific slave trade, or the sub-Saharan slave trade, or your ancestors ended up slaves who were native in this country. Okay, now they reduced us in this last captivity to chattel slaves. Chattel slavery was just reduced to just property, not even human beings. 3/5 of a human. That's what we were reduced to by these Psalm 83 nations. Okay, now I'll be going over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 2 to 4 in the 66. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 2 to 4. And it says, "In that day shall the branch of the Adonai be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem, when the Adonai shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning." Okay, family, I'll be going over to Isaiah chapter 10, verses 20 to 23. Israel, from 3/5 of a human back to royalty. Okay, Isaiah chapter 10, verses 20 to 23. Okay, and it says this: "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Adonai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty Elohim. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return." A remnant of us shall return. So from here, I'll be going over to the book of Enoch. Okay, so this right here will be kind of like a sidebar. A sidebar, family. But very interesting. Very interesting. You know, because I'm going here, I'm going to share these couple of verses out of here in the book of Enoch, because, you know, many of us Hebrews, men and women, you know, are trying to share the word of Yah through many avenues in social media, you know, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and many other sites. And a lot of people are not trying to hear it. A lot of people are not gravitating to it. And as I read the word of Yah more and more, I'm starting to understand. Follow me in this scripture right here, family. The book of Second Enoch. This is the book of Second Enoch, chapter 23, verses 1 to 3. But the most emphasis is going to be on verses 2, okay? Verses, especially verse 2. But I'm going to start in verse 1. Okay. And this passage right here, okay, the Most High told a mighty, powerful angel by the name of Prevail to tell Enoch some things. And at this time, Enoch is in heaven, being shown some things by different angels at different times, at the word, at the will of the Most High. Okay, so now this mighty angel was told by the Most High to tell Enoch some stuff right here. Okay, 2nd Enoch chapter 23, verse 1. "And he was telling me all the works of heaven, earth, and sea, and all the elements, their passages and goings, and the thunderings of the thunders, the sun and moon, the goings and changes of the stars, the seasons, years, days, and hours, the rising of the wind, the numbers of the messengers, and the formation of their songs, and all human things, the tongue of every human song and life, the commandments, instructions, and sweet-voiced singings, and all things that it is fitting to learn. And Prevail told me all the things that I have told you we have written. Sit and write all the souls of mankind, However, many of them are born, and the place is prepared for them to eternity. Check this out, family. For all souls are prepared to eternity before the formation of the world. All souls were prepared to eternity before the formation of the world. As I continue, verse 3. And I wrote all this for 2 periods of 30 days and nights, 30 nights, and I wrote out all the things exactly, and wrote 366 scrolls. So there's many more writings of Yah's word. I don't care who didn't canonize what from the Roman Catholic Church. This word Yah had given to our ancestors, and it was to be passed down from generation to generation. But there was a period that Yah had told the men of Yah to keep a lot of these scriptures hidden. Okay? And so when we fell into curses, our oppressors from the Psalm 83 nations read our material, kept it hidden, but it was Yah's will that it was to stay hidden anyway, and it was to be reintroduced to Yah's people in the end times, just as it is being done right now. So it's like, they call themselves taking authority over our holy scriptures that our Father gave our men of Yah. Okay, and they call themselves not canonizing certain things, and didn't canonize anything but the so-called 66, but they had no authorization, and they hid it because they knew it was not for them, and they didn't want Yah's chosen people to get a hold to it. Okay, so but Yah, okay, now he has made it possible for this material to be available for some of his people to teach it to his other people. Okay, and this is what we're doing. So I don't care what they didn't canonize. It had nothing to do with the Gentiles. Yah had a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the offspring of his people. And that will be us so-called Negroes scattered around the world into all nations and the islands. This word is for us to teach not only our people, but people from the other nations who will receive it. But hey, as I read this scripture right here, eternity was prepared for all souls before Yah even created the world. So if people ain't receiving it, it's like they weren't chosen to receive it. Every soul is going to spend eternity somewhere, but we're not all going to spend eternity together. Okay? According to the word of Yah, everybody is not called to this. But Yah has the last say so in the last word. Just because people who aren't a part of it and who hasn't received it thus far doesn't mean Yah won't draw them to it later on down the line. Yah has the last word. Okay? But if some people just don't want anything to do with it, it is written that, everybody is not called to this. And remember the last message I did, Yah has placed evil spirits over some people of different nations to lead them astray from Yah. To lead somebody astray. Yah has done this on purpose, to put spirits over certain people who weren't chosen to be a part of this, to lead them astray from him. To lead them astray, that means that he purposely sent these spirits over them to lead them the wrong way in life, down the road of sin. That is deep. But Yah is the creator, and what he says goes. So I'm just trying to serve Yah and glorify him and edify my people, my Hebrew Israelite people, and everybody else who want to be a part of this. Okay? I'm just doing my part to please my Father, our Father, and serve my family of sheep. Okay? Praise Yah. To Yah be the glory. Okay? So moving on from this book of Enoch, 2nd Enoch, back to the 66. I'll be in Isaiah chapter 11, verses 10 to 12. And here we go. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Adonai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The four corners of the earth, north, south, east, and west. This will happen when our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, come back to this earth to gather his people from all these nations and islands. Okay? That's what the scripture says. That's what's going to happen. Okay, from here I'll be going in Isaiah chapter 41, verses 10 to 14. And it says, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Talking about his people, those who have strove and who have been striving against us shall perish, the word of Yah says. Thou shalt seek them and shall not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, the Elohim, the Adonai, the Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Adonai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. All this is right over the horizon in the near future, family. We will become royalty once again when our Messiah returns to this earth. People from these Psalm 83 nations, they don't have to receive us now. But when our Messiah comes back, he going to make all the nations of the world bow down to his chosen people. That's right. They're going to be so terrified of him. They're going to be glad to bow down before us. It just don't seem like that now, because we have been messed up by these nations in the world. Kidnapped, raped, robbed, and murdered, and done all kind of things to it. Reduced to 3/5 of a human. Chattel slavery, which just means property. Not even a whole person. We have been reduced to just property. And that's still the way they look at us. That's why out of all the people who have suffered in this world, they have been given and paid, their dividends of reparations. But us, Hebrews, so-called Negroes around the world in these nations and islands, they ain't gave us nothing, and I don't think they're going to give us nothing. I don't think the Most High going to let them, because they will not repay us all what we are owed. Okay, so, in their minds, the reason why they won't do it is because to them, we're not even really human beings. We're just 3/5 of a human. They figure they don't owe us nothing. They figure that they don't even have to pay no recompense, for what has been done to our people all these centuries. That's how they think. You can ask politicians and stuff, and people from these evangelical churches, these mega pastors and stuff like that. You see them do interviews and stuff, and then it's like, what sin would you say America is guilty of in the mind of God? And then, well, one of the greatest sins that America has is, I would say, abortion. But they say nothing about the kidnap, rape, robbery, murder, and slavery of Yah's chosen people. That's not even brought up in the conversation, because in their minds, we're not even a human being to them. But mind you, I just read it in my last message that I shared, that Yah has placed these evil spirits, Mastema, the chief spirit of those Nephilim giants, these principalities, powers, and rulers, they are leading these Psalm 83 nations. Okay? Yah has placed these spirits over them. So if you hear them saying stuff like that, I understand now, because they're being moved and pressed in their minds by evil spirits. Some of them know it. A lot of them serve Satan and they know it. They have received and accepted fame and fortune. A lot of these people in these elite positions from these Psalm 83 nations, they know they serve Satan. And they know that we are Yah's chosen people. And so when they say stuff like that, they don't recognize what has happened to our people throughout these centuries. I understand now, because they're being moved by evil spirits. Okay? Principalities, powers, rulers, and spiritual wickedness that sits in high places. And Satan has placed Mastema, the chief spirit of those Nephilim giants that were once here. Yah has allowed the 10th part, 10% of them to still be in this earth, influencing people in their minds and in their hearts. And you see so many people, even a lot of Hebrews, I've noticed on YouTube, a lot of sisters getting off into witchcraft. Young men in relationships with women and don't have the maturity. If a relationship is over, it's over. You move on and go your way. You don't kill the woman just because she don't want to be with you no more. A lot of demonic activity is going on in this world, family. I'm telling y'all. A lot of demonic activity, and the scripture calls it, a lot of people are being seduced by evil spirits. So, a whole lot of stuff is going on, but it's because a lot of spirits are moving people in their minds to do these things that are not normal. But the word says, in the end times, what seems right will be wrong, and what seems wrong will be right. Those are the times that we are living in right now. As I continue in this message. All right. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. And it says, "For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish." May I remind everybody, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. We're coming to those times. But all that's going to happen when our Messiah comes back. These people who think they don't owe us any recompense or retribution, I'm just reading that scripture, family, to remind us, because we need to hear some good news. And to remind those people who may be from the Psalm 83 nations viewing this video, this is what we're coming to. If you're going to be a part of Yah's son, Yahushua HaMashiach's kingdom when he comes, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Those nations shall be utterly wasted. That's what we're coming to. That will be in the times of Jacob. Right now, we're still in the times of the Gentile, the time of Esau and these Gentile nations. That's why they're still on the top. And any leader from any country in the world, anywhere in the world, if they're leading in the world now, they're not a Hebrew. Because we're in the times of the Gentiles now. The Psalm 83 nations, Esau, and the Gentiles. No, see, when some of our people in these camps, they get to kicking a lot of stuff out their mouth, saying all kinds of people are part of the 12 tribes of Israel, but they don't get specific. They leave people wondering. If you're going to say stuff like that, you need to, tell people exactly who you're talking about. See, Yah said we was going to fall down to the tail, and our oppressors will rise up to the head. So no Hebrews, no Israelites are leading in the nations right now. We're not leading in the times of the Gentiles. No Hebrew, nowhere in this world are leading in any parts of this country. All the leaders that are leading these nations now all the way around the world, they are Gentiles. That's who they are. We're in the times of the Gentiles, But at the end of Esau's reign, then it'll be the time of Jacob. So these people in these camps, these brothers, they need to be specific when they say stuff like that. Okay, you saying, all these people are part of the 12 tribes of Israel, be specific what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say it. You saying people are part of the 12 tribes. It's not to say that they can't be grafted in. People can be grafted in if they receive Yah and receive his people, of course. But just be specific. You know what I'm saying? Be specific. Because Hebrews, Israelites, we're not leading in any nation now. You got a brother in the country of Burkina Faso in Africa, Ibrahim Traore, and no disparities toward any Hamites. I'm just speaking the truth, But that brother, he looks just like us. He looks like a Hebrew. Ibrahim Traore. I wish he was as great of a leader as he is. You know what I'm saying? He's the president and the leader of Burkina Faso, a small country on the western coast of Africa, right above where Negro land was. But I mean, the stuff that he's doing for his people in Africa, I mean, I haven't heard about any leader in the world in recent decades that's doing great things as he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and just like I said, no disparities toward any Hamites from any African country, because a lot of Hebrews are in all the countries in the world. So a lot of our people are still in those countries in Africa. Everybody didn't get on those slave ships. That's it. Everybody, all the Hebrews, I'm saying, every Hebrew did not get on those slave ships. And while I'm on this subject, I just want to say, I've been in Minnesota 30 years, and there are a lot of Africans from different countries here. I met people from Nigeria, Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti, South Africa, Liberia. I mean, some of the most beautiful, the most sweet people inside and out that I've met in my whole life are from Africa. Okay? I'm gonna sit it with that. Beautiful people from Africa. Kind, friendly, just genuine. You know what I'm saying? For real, speaking from the heart. Okay, now back to the message. Okay, now I'll be going to the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 3. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. Okay, and it says here, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. We're talking about Israel from 3/5 of a human back to royalty, family. Back to royalty in Yah's time. In Yah's time. In Yah's time. Numbers chapter 24, verse 9. It says, he couched, he lay down as a lion, and as a great lion, who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blessed thee, and cursed is he that cursed thee. Who is he talking about? Go up to verse 8. Elohim brought him forth out of Egypt. The only nation of people that Yah has brought out of captivity that was in Egypt is Israel. So that's who he's talking about in verse 9. Blessed is he that blessed thee, and cursed is he that cursed thee. He's talking about Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel scattered around the world, and all nations and islands on this earth. That's who he's talking about. Okay, Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. And it says, well, thus said the Adonai of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. Talking about those nations who touched Israel, touched the apple of the Most High's eye. This is how much he loves his people. But, if you can't see it, after all what we have endured for all these centuries, we're still here. And most of us are still in our right mind. And we are the ones bringing this truth, spreading around the world. Thanks be to the Most High and the Ruach. He's downloading all this back to his people. Our mother, the Holy Ruach. All right? Okay, now from here over to Deuteronomy 28, verse 9 and 10. And we're going to get back to this too. When our Messiah comes back, we're going to get back to this. Deuteronomy 28, 9 and 10. It says, the Adonai shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee. If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Adonai thy Elohim, and walk in his ways, and all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Adonai, and they shall be afraid of thee. That's what we coming to. You know, a lot of them don't believe it now. I mean, they know it, they just don't want to admit it. You know, but when Yahushua HaMashiach come back, you know, there ain't gonna be no hiding then. You can't hide then. You know, if you don't want to be a part of it, you're just gonna be slaughtered. You know, because, you know, these nations, they will be our handmaids and servants, just like as we serve them all these centuries. It will be their time to serve us, according to Scripture. Okay, Psalms chapter 105, verse 8 to 10. And it says here, he hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Some of them people who, you know, go to them evangelical Christian churches, you ought to see and read the scripture, and they always be told that, you know, Old Testament done away with it. That's a lie from Satan, you know, handed down to his fake pastors and false prophets in his Christian churches, you know. But this scripture is to remind us, family, okay? He hath remembered his covenant forever. How long? Forever. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob, Jacob being the 12 tribes of Israel, for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting. How long? Everlasting covenant. You don't have no covenant with nobody else. He has a covenant with Israel. And if people from the nations want to be a part of anything that y'all got going on, you must join yourself and be grafted into Israel. You don't have no covenant with no Gentiles or no evangelicals or no Roman Catholic Church. You don't have no covenant with no Muslims, no Buddhists, no Hinduists. You don't have no covenant with nobody, only Israel, his people he started a covenant with. You can be a part of it, but you must join yourself to his people, Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, the world called Negroes. We are Yah's chosen people. He is the Elohim of Israel. That's what scripture says. He is the Elohim of Israel. Okay? Moving right along. Okay, 1 Peter chapter 21, verse 9. Okay. 1 Peter chapter 21, verses 9 and 10. Okay, it says here, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, Israel from 3/5 of a human back to royalty, family. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Elohim, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. He is not talking to no evangelical Christians. He is not talking to no Roman Catholic Church. He is not talking to Rome, Italy. Since when, since the Gentiles been in power, has the Roman Catholics or the Roman nation of Italy, period, has been once upon a time were not a people? When have they ever been known as once upon a time, which in time past were not a people? Not ever. It's not talking about Greece either. Since when has Athens, Greece, or the people of the country of Greece ever, which in time past were ever known as not a people? Never ever. When are the people who are calling themselves Jews in Israel once upon a time during these times of the Gentiles ever been known, which in time past were not a people, but are now a people. They were never, ever reduced to that. The only people who were reduced, which in time past were not a people, were the so-called Negroes scattered around the world in all these nations and islands on the earth. That's what I'm talking about. Israel, from 3/5 of a human back to royalty. We were the only people ever reduced to this, which in time past were not a people. It ain't talking about no evangelical Christians. This passage right here in 1 Peter is talking about Israel, the rest of the world called Negroes. That's who this scripture is talking about. And it's saying, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Elohim. That's when Yahushua HaMashiach comes back to this earth. That will be the time this scripture is talking about, which had not obtained mercy. What people in the world has had mercy on the so-called Negroes, whose people, ancestors were taken in the sub-Saharan slave trade, who was taken in the Pacific slave trade, who was taken in the Atlantic slave trade. What people on the earth has shown mercy to us? Nobody. You ain't been given no reparations for none of that. See, which had not obtained mercy. We still haven't obtained mercy from none of these Psalm 83 nations on earth since we've been in this captivity. But now have obtained mercy. We will obtain mercy when Yahushua HaMashiach returns to this earth. And he's going to see to that. These scriptures are talking about his people, Israel, the rest of the world called Negroes. Okay? Okay, we're going even deeper. We're going even deeper. We're going to obtain mercy when he comes. And not only that, it's going to get deeper. We're going to also obtain this. Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet. Whose feet? Our feet. And to know that I have loved thee. See, he gonna make all the nations do that. They're gonna bow down at our feet to let them know that he has always loved us. We just got to get through the rest of our curse period right now. That's all. We're still in the times of the Gentiles. The Most High is raising us back up. We know who we are. He's raising Israel up. And anytime, if you look through the history of the Bible, whenever Yah raised Israel up, the other nations went down. When our people was in Egypt, and he sent Moses to lead them out, Israel rose up, Egypt went down, and so forth. Anytime, he rose his people up, the nation that held them captive went down. When our people was in Babylon, when it was time for them to leave Babylon, Israel was rising back up, Babylon went down, and so forth. Same thing with Assyria, That's the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So as he's bringing us up, these Psalm 83 nations around the world, they are coming down. They're coming unglued. Please believe it. Okay, now in closing, the book of Esdras. Remember this scripture. Remember this scripture. 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. I didn't want this video to be too long, so that's why I was just moving kind of fast. So family, this has been Israel, from 3/5 of a human back to royalty. I'm Brother Judah Israel. I hope you got some understanding in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, so until next time, may Yah bless you and your family. Stay safe. And shalom.